So we sat in a room in October, whiteboard up, pulled some people together, and we started talking about what we would change. If we could look back on everything we had done for Managed WordPress and Managed WooCommerce over at Liquid Web, when we started this thing, it's only been about 3 years. What would we change, right? And how would we change it? What did we think about what we were doing? And we started writing some notes down. And as we started crafting those notes, we were very aware of the recent purchase of the Nexcess platform, which was known for Magento hosting, but the platform itself was interesting. So we're looking at some of what was available there to us, and we're looking back on our own history and what we had done as we created these products. And we started writing down some of the things that we cared about and things that we reflected on and said, gosh, if we could have done this differently, maybe we would have. And the first thought we had was we would lower the price for the one-site plans. One site in WordPress, one site in WooCommerce, we would lower the price just so that people could get started and taste the benefits of what we had built, right? Because what we've done and the way we've done it, we feel is so interesting and different that we would just want people to be able to get a flavor of that. And we wrote that down. And then we said, well, the thing we've heard as feedback over and over since we launched Managed WooCommerce is this idea of running multiple stores on one account. We had designed our Managed WooCommerce to be one site per plan. And as we started talking, we thought, wow, gosh, if we could do a 3-site or a 3-store plan or a 5-store plan, that, giving people that ability, even if they, larger resource loads so they could share it among the stores, but wouldn't it be awesome if we could do that? And we started drafting what it would mean from a design perspective, from a price perspective, from a resource perspective, and then we would have to test all that. We started talking about concurrency, right? The throughput, and realized even though most of the managed WordPress hosts give you 2 PHP workers, which is essentially like a 2-lane road to go anywhere, we said, God, we already do 10, but on the larger accounts, we've had customers come back and say, I'm running a really large membership site. I'm running a large discussion forum. I'm running large sites that require more logged in users. Is there a way to get more PHP workers? And we had done them one-off, but we thought, what would it look like to give more concurrency support on larger plans? And we wrote it down. And then we said, well, actually, it's just hard to talk about PHP workers, right? People's eyes glaze up. They're like, this is technical stuff. We said, we need another way. We need a way to talk about concurrency in a way that people understand, and particularly on the e-commerce side. So we started investigating, and we thought, what about maximum orders per hour? Like in the peak zone of when people are coming in, what if we could articulate the maximum orders that the site could process in a given hour? But that would mean we have to do a ridiculous amount of testing to figure out what those numbers were and tweak loads and resources and everything else to make sure we could support it. But we wrote it down and we kept doing this, right? We said, well, we want to be able to deliver better bundles, but also give people some of the plans at lower prices without some of the bundles, right? And so you start working through what that would look like. And you get all this stuff and you go, okay, what's that going to take to do? So we met again in November and we started working through the actual list of things and talking with engineering. And we started working through the tests, and our teams, our product teams and our engineering teams, our QA teams, our UX guys, everybody got involved to say, what would it look like if we wanted to do all of this and all of it together at the same time? And so we picked a date and we said, oh, what about middle of January? Could we get it all done by middle of January? Knowing, of course, that everyone takes breaks at December, right? The last couple weeks of December. And yet today I feel like a kid in a candy store, right? Because it all came together. When you go to the Liquid Web pages or the Nexcess pages for WordPress and WooCommerce, you're going to see new plans. You're going to see new lower pricing. You're going to see more resourcing. You're going to see new ways to understand throughput and concurrency and the standard by which we know which plans are right for your stores. You're going to see better everything. Oh, and did I mention we rolled in email too, right? With no additional pricing. All of this available. Why? Because a small group of people started dreaming about what we would go back and change, what we would do differently back in October. And also because we had the benefit of a new infrastructure over at Nexcess. Now, the new plans will get put immediately on the Nexcess underlying platform. If you're an existing customer on Liquid Web, we will eventually get you over there. You will eventually get all those features too. Right now, you're getting exactly what you bought when you bought it back then. But the new everything will eventually get on the Nexcess platform, because when we bought the platform, we'd already done extensive analysis to say, we think this Nexcess platform, known super well for Magento hosting, we think it can be an incredible baseline for what we've been doing with WordPress and WooCommerce. They already understand high concurrency. They already understand throughput. They understand all the things that most of the other managed WordPress hosts weren't doing, because they were relying on caching, right? And these guys, you can't cache Magento stores. So their infrastructure had already been designed differently. So we went in and we started working through it. And again, in November, we started saying, okay, let's bring some things over. Let's get some stuff running. And every week from then to now, we've made sure that we can do everything we used to be able to do, plus more. Because I haven't even told you about auto scaling, right? Auto scaling is something you hear about at AWS, and it's awesome. And I don't have any problem with AWS stuff, in terms of their innovation, their technology, and everything they're doing. But you have to be a super kind of engineer to start running a high-performing membership site or a high-performing e-commerce site over there, right? Like, because you're going to have to configure everything. And we said, what if we could do auto scaling without configuring anything? In fact, there's just one toggle that says, do I want to allow auto scaling or not? You push the toggle, and then if you get an influx of additional traffic, we just spin up additional PHP FPM containers. We spin up additional threads. We make sure that you can get more concurrency running than ever before without ever doing anything. And if you do it in the first 12 hours, which is the way most peaks run, they run for a couple hours and come back down, you don't even pay anything, right? Now, if you want to leave it on and you like literally blast off and you keep going, then we'll start incrementally adjusting a price, or we can talk to you about moving to the next level of plan. But the core of this is the ability to peak for a small window automatically without having to do anything is incredible. You're going to see a lot more of this whole Liquid Web products that we designed over at Liquid Web, and we're moving all of our managed applications, our managed WordPress and our managed WooCommerce, we're moving them all to the Nexcess platform. So you're going to hear more and more about Nexcess going forward. All of this year, you'll hear us talk about Nexcess and the Nexcess platform, and everything. Eventually, you'll read all our articles and everything else over at Nexcess, because this is the platform where we're building out all our stuff. It also does Magento. It also does other stuff, right? But we're building our managed WordPress and managed WooCommerce platforms over here. And today you're seeing price points, resources, and all the underlying infrastructure to give you the very best products that we've ever launched. I hope you like them as much as I do.